Yo, what is up, people? Skazi here, bringing you my first ever video that I'm making on YouTube for gaming in general. So be nice. This is my first time making some content. I'm trying my best with editing and such. It's all new to me. So a little bit about myself. I'm 30. I've been gaming ever since I could pick up a controller. And I've recently gotten really competitive into gaming. I enjoy it. It's fun. It's a great hobby. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please hit the like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch and TikTok, and let's get into the video. So, the first thing that I would like to talk about is centering. Centering. So, what was the thing about that? What do you think about centering? So when you are playing the game, right, in Call of Duty, you have the option to have crosshairs, or a dot, or if you're using a game monitor, some people have the automatic crosshairs that pop up on their screen. Whatever you use, you want to use that as a reference and to guide you where you want to be looking. So for instance, on any map, you have doors, you have windows, you have long alleyways, you have areas in which players generally like to move and like to be. So now, while you're playing your game, you want to be thinking the entire time from start to finish. With your crosshairs, you want to place those in areas that are popular. You always want to make sure that you're pointing in the direction in which you're going to assume an enemy is going to be. And also, you want to make sure that your crosshairs are at neck or head level. Now, why do we do that? Let me tell you. Because in this game, there's multipliers for different body parts in which you shoot. And obviously, if you shoot the upper chest to the head, you get a much higher multiplier, which makes the time to kill a lot quicker. So now, we're going to use that to our advantage, okay? Say you're in a corner, right? And there's a door there. And you know that door, it's very popular for players to run through it. So what you're going to do is you're going to keep your crosshairs at the middle and the top section of that door. So that way when a player opens the door or runs through the door, you are ready to get into a gunfight. And not only are you ready to get in a gunfight, you are ready to win that gunfight. Through my experience of playing this game, I noticed that just about 80-90% of the gunfights I get into in which I am assuming and using my centering, I win those gunfights. And anytime I lose a gunfight, if I ever look back in the video, if I ever look back at it, I notice I'm either looking too much towards the ground, or I'm not coming to an approach thinking that there's going to be a person in that direction. And then I lose that gunfight. Now, not all gunfights you're going to want to lose depending on your centering, obviously. It all depends on the position and many other aspects. But when it comes to centering, it drastically improves your chance of winning the gunfights. Now I want you to use that and use that in a practicing simulation. So a good way to practice your centering, a good way to practice, these tips that I'm teaching you is go into a private match, put in some bots, change up the settings a little bit. I can make a video about the settings that are very effective that I like to use when it comes to making a private match. And then run around, set yourself, some goals with some standards. Like for me, for instance, the first 50 kills of the match, I want to make sure it's just me get warmed up. For the next 25 to 50 kills, I want to do jump shots, I want to do drop shots, I want to do snake shots, and I want to work on some movement, which I'm going to use in the game. Now, a big thing that I also like to do at the beginning of the game is turn off my aim assist. So that way, when I'm trying to center or when I'm trying to aim on target, I have to be very, very precise with my movements with my analog stick when it comes to aiming. And that way, when you use aim assist, which is huge and it helps a lot, it's going to feel so sticky, it's going to feel so good, and you'll notice a huge difference. So that's a huge thing that I like to use as a tool to get better at doing these things. Next up is recoil control. Now I just want to touch base on this. I'm going to talk about this for a couple minutes and then I'll let the game and my video play out so you can watch some video and see, there's moments where I do use my center, there's moments where I don't. Listen, I'm an average player who's trying to get to above average, try to get to a very high level of gaming when it comes to Call of Duty specifically. So use my videos and my content as showing you what happens when you do good and what happens when you do bad. And they show that we're human and that we're not always going to have great games or we're just on a streak and we're in a flow state, everything's going well. There's going to be times where we just can't get things going. and use those mistakes that I'm making in these videos and take note of those and say, okay, yeah, that's a mistake there. Oh, he did that. He did well there. You know, he centered on that door. Oh, he did not center there. He lost. You lost that gunfight. Use these as learning curves to help you. And I'm not only going to help myself, but help you at the same time. All right? So, on to the next, number 2.
Recoil control. Now, going off a little tangent here, all these tips that I'm telling you about right now are all things that I've learned in watching TikTokers, watching streamers, watching professional Call of Duty players, doing research, pulling up YouTube videos on how to do this and how to do that. And these are all things that I've taken note from other players. So I want you to use this video as a reference and in a way to help you get better, because everyone has a way of teaching and explaining things, and sometimes it takes a certain person to be able to explain things a certain way for it to click to you. So hopefully this video is one of the videos that works for you. So recoil control. So along with centering, when you control your recoil, that enhances your accuracy tremendously, right? Every gun in Call of Duty has a recoil pattern to it. Now, each one's different, and it's important for you to figure out, for the guns that you like to use for the most part, you have to understand what that recoil pattern is. And a way to do that is log into a private match, take your favorite weapon, and line up about 15, 20 meters away from a wall, a cement wall or anything that will work, and make sure that you have the effects on, so that way when you shoot, it shows the bullet strikes on the wall or on the object that you're shooting. Now, when you shoot, you want to empty an entire magazine, and it will show you the recoil pattern. Do not hold the analog stick, just let it shoot, and you'll see that most guns go up and then to the right or to the left. That is your recoil pattern. For example, with the TAC 56, when you shoot, the first about 5 to 8 rounds go straight up, and then the rest of the magazine causes it to go up into almost a 45-degree angle to the right. So that way you understand, okay, for the first so many shots, you want to pull back on the analog stick ever so slightly to control the recoil. And then after a little period of time, after a few more shots, you're going to know that the recoil is going to start going up to the right a little bit. So now you're going to have to start pulling down the analog stick and then pulling down to the left slightly as you shoot the weapon. And you'll notice that you'll be able to control the recoil a lot more. These things will help you in your game tremendously. And they're things that I'm working on being more consistent with. The times that I'm actually consistent, I'm focused, and I'm doing these things that I'm telling you to practice, I noticed a huge difference in my gameplay. I'm winning gunfights, being way more successful. So I want you guys to take note of these things and go out and practice them. You know, before every game, before every time I log in and start playing in a ranked match, I go into a private match or a public match, and I play a 1 round or about half an hour of the private match, just working on these small skills just to get myself loosened up, get myself prepared, get myself ready. That way when it becomes time to get serious and compete in these ranked matches, I am more than ready to go. So we're going to wrap this video up here with my commentary. I hope that all these things that I've spoken about help you become the player that you want to become. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe, please comment below and let me know how I did. If this is something that you're more than willing to keep watching, and if there's other content that you would like for me to put out there, please let me know. I love to share videos and research and do whatever I need to do to help you guys get better. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video.